Hey, oh, shit. Hey, Christ, you can't slide on this floor. It's rubber. Almost broke my neck. Anyway, good evening. Greg, Clearwater 124. I got a beautiful car to show you tonight. It's 240Z. Or if you're in Canada or the British Isles, the 240Z. It's awesome. Very good model. By BRM, 124 scale. No magnets and rubber tires. You know, if you want to hang around and listen, I'll give you a little history on that car. It came to North America in 70. I believe it was actually developed in 69, but it didn't come to us until 70. And it was the Datsun 240Z. In Asia, in Japan, it was a Nissan Fairlady Z or the S30. Most of us here in North America had never heard of Nissan at the time. We only knew them as Datsun. So I remember the first one that I saw, and I said, "What the heck is that?" And I got a closer look at it, and I thought it was a great little car. There weren't much around for Japanese sports cars. You know, you saw the odd MG or Triumph, Fiat, Honda, but not very often. The 240Z was a straight six, 2-liter, 128 horsepower, and you could get it with a 4 or 5-speed transmission. The only ones that were the only other Japanese cars that were around, sports cars that were around, and some of them I never even saw, was like the Toyota 2000 GT. That was a mid-engine. It was very rare. I saw one once in my life. They only made 351 of them from 67 to 70. And I think before that was the Toyota Sports 800. I think that was like early 60s. They only made about 3,100 of those, and they were like a flat engine. They were a boxer engine. Air cooled. I don't know that I might have saw one of those. And the Honda made a S800 also, 65, and it was a straight four. Very similar in body style to an MG. If you passed them going the other way, you might have said, "Oh shit, that's an MG." And then from 66 to 74, Saab made the Sonnet. I don't know if any of you remember them. They were kind of strange looking, kind of gawky actually, like they didn't sit low to the ground. They were built on an aluminum chassis, and not a tube chassis, but a square aluminum chassis. I don't know why they didn't make it out of tube, but they made out of square stock. I actually saw a couple of these, and the guy I knew had one, and I got a really good look at it. It was a 3-cylinder, 748cc two-stroke, and it sounded like a two-stroke, but it went like stink. I couldn't believe how quick it was, and it handled pretty decent for as high a stance as it had. All right, back to the 240Z. They built it. It was discontinued in 73 because of the fuel crisis. The Japanese models were. And I think they went to the 260 and went to a 2.6 liter in 74 with the 260. but I don't think they made them in Japan as a 260, but I'm not positive. But as I recall, they were the first noticeable Japanese sports car. You know, at the time in the late 60s, I was driving a 66 Impala Super Sport, uh, and all my friends whose parents bought them cars were driving first gen Camaros, Cudas, Firebirds, that type of thing. So we had a local place. It was one of the first industrial parks that I remember, and so it was empty at night, and there was a long straightaway, probably a mile or something long, and somebody had actually measured a quarter mile and painted a start and a stop line, and there were cliffs on both sides of where the start line was. So people would go there on Sunday afternoons, and if they weren't racing, they would park and go up on the cliffs with a cooler full of beer and sit up there. People would trailer their cars there, and that they wanted to race, and other guys would drive like I would drive there. My friends, we would all drive there and race. I can remember burning up a tank of gas on a Sunday, just having a ball. The cops would come, and that sucked. I remember one Sunday, the state police, this was in Massachusetts in probably like 69 or 70. The state police blocked off both ends of the road to the industrial park and flew over with a helicopter. And they ticketed everybody that was there, whether you were racing or not. You got a ticket. So that kind of slowed that down for a month or so. People found other places to go. But what a great time to grow up. We had the best cars, we had the best music, and the best looking chicks, right? We didn't have cell phones, we didn't have computer games. We were all outside doing something. You know, I can remember driving by guys changing a motor in the street in front of their house, for Christ's sake. But yeah, it was a great time. Anyway, that was a little history on the 240Z and when it arrived. Great little car. My neighbor, I think it was in, bought my house there in 76. Um, I think in 1976, my neighbor had a 260. And then in the early 80s, he traded that in and he got a 300. And I was never a big fan of the 300. They changed the body style a little bit. Uh, Kind of ruined it, like Mazda ruined the RX-7. Yeah. Speaking of that, there's another one that came from Japan much later though. I'll have to look and see when the RX-7 first arrived. But anyway, hey, Greg from Clearwater 124. If you found this interesting, please like and subscribe. Thanks for watching, fellas. See ya.